Wow, we are getting absolutely roasted on World Talk, America. And to be honest, a lot of the things they're saying is the truth. America is uneducated, obese, indoctrinated, selfish, arrogant. And that is the absolute truth. The problem with America and Americans is that they were raised and indoctrinated to have this sense of independence. As soon as you're 18, they want you to kick your children out, knowing that they know dick all about the world. And the majority of Americans have followed this procedure for generation after generation. The only way this works is if your family has wealth and your people are going to school to educate themselves and then coming back to family businesses, generational wealth. That's the only way this works. The only way that us poor people will ever survive is working together. That will be the only way we survive. And us poor families have spent the majority of our lives trying to be independent. And this is the downfall of Americans. Because you and your independence is keeping you a loser. This is why indigenous tribes all across the world have survived for tens of thousands of years. Colonization happened 300 years ago, and look at where the world is at. Native Americans never had fights with other countries. Think about that. Tens of thousands of years, the world was just fine. And now 300 years of oppression and colonization, and here we are fighting each other across the fucking seas with bombs and missiles. For what? Because their beliefs are different? Because their religion is different? Whole time, Americans' culture is stealing, killing, and thieving. And it goes to show about who's the president right now. This whole time, Americans have been clinging to this sense of safety from the justice system and the court system and their constitution. Now that they have thrown the Constitution out the water, they've thrown the justice system out the water, and everybody's realizing that all of it's a show and it's all a system that's designed to keep all of us down. Now people are getting scared. Now people want to do something about it. And it's indicative of what's happening on these apps. You see all the people crying and bitching and pleading and moaning that all these opportunities are going away. Government programs are being stripped. And the whole time, people like myself that have been living in poverty in America, that have never been given any of those education opportunities, never given any of those nice jobs, the cushy American dream. I've never even had a chance at fucking a mortgage in my life. And I'm 36 years old and I've worked my entire fucking life, my ass off. I was in the top 1,000 of Ford salespeople when there was like 250,000 of us. I was in the top 1,000 and I never received one good check from them. They always found a way to manipulate me out of my check. And if you've ever been in the car business, these are some big ass checks. We're talking about $10,000, $15,000 checks that I got screwed out of because the people that run America do not want the minorities or anybody with color to have anything in America. And they'll sit here and they'll parade their fucking house around, and then everybody else thinks, oh, well, they're just lazy. They just don't want to work. Those homeless people deserve to be there because they don't want to work. When the reality is that these people have been forced into this position. Now that they're being forced, the middle class, the white America, now that they're being forced to do the same thing as all these niggas, how does it feel to be a nigga in America as a white person? No opportunity. Zero opportunity for you. Education, out the window. Good jobs, out the window. Decent price on food, out the window. And you see them crying and whining about it. Whole time, people like me have been suffering all of our lives. Nothing has changed for me in this administration. I haven't felt it in one bit at all. That should tell you something about America. Nobody cares about anybody else until the shit has hit totally the fan. Complete shit has hit the fan in America. And the majority of Americans don't even know it yet. I've been sitting here trying to beg them for a revolution since I was blue in the face. Now they want to talk about revolution. When we got the fucking man with the button that will press the button in office. You know, and they're sitting here trying to fight and cling to the system that's already broken. They're clinging to a U.S. Department of Education that never educated anyone. They're clinging to a Medicare program, a Medicaid program that's obviously corrupt and sending the money to healthcare insurers and not benefiting anybody in the reality. But they're so indoctrinated that all they see is, oh, Department of Education, electrolyte. We are stupid. I'm just lucky to be autistic. So I hyperfixate and I overanalyze everything, and I'm actually somewhat intelligent. I'm not educated, I'm intelligent. But I think Americans' problem, the true problem for Americans, is that their independence will be their downfall. Nobody wants to work together. Everybody is in competition with one another because that's how they have trained us to think all of our lives. And the people that have stuck with the system and tried to work within the system their whole life are now realizing that the system was never for them. A lot of broken hearts out there realizing that the American dream was never for us. It's for them. So, World Talk, don't be too hard on Americans because they've been indoctrinated and they are uneducated. I wouldn't say uneducated. I would even say the indoctrination has overwhelmingly succeeded the education in America. Propaganda, Facebook, the media has destroyed America. They forgot how America was even established, and it was homesteading, growing food, farming. That's how America was created, truly. But nobody even thinks about those kind of things. All they do is think about how they're going to get enough money to put food in the fridge. And the majority of Americans can't even afford to even do something about it if they wanted to because their family would starve. Hence the reason why I've been preaching about unity, food, water, housing, securing these resources so we have time to be creative and make a plan and try to fight back. But trying to get anybody to work together is like fucking trying to pull teeth, man. I've decided to just worry about my motherfucking self and the people that are around me because nobody wants to work together to try to secure our future. They just want to sit there and cling on to this broken system that's getting destructed in front of their eyes. They're still clinging to the idea that the court is going to save us, that the Constitution is going to save us. None of that matters. That is a piece of paper somewhere that they printed to manipulate you into thinking that you had some kind of control over this shit, which you don't. Your vote does not fucking matter. And I'm sorry to say it, but it doesn't. Unless you have a billions in the bank, your vote don't matter. Your money don't matter. You don't matter to them. And until Americans realize this, we'll always be stuck in this circle. Their independence, their unwillingness to sacrifice the security of themselves and their own family will be the downfall of everybody. Because nobody wants to give up that cushy job. Nobody wants to speak up because they might, in fear of retaliation from their job, from their family and their friends. And everybody wanted to just sit around and just let the shit play out and hope that somebody will fix it. Trump, the almighty mortal God, will come and fix everything for them. Whole time I've been in corporate America. Corporate white America don't give a fuck about nothing but a dollar. You heard what he said about Gaza. He doesn't even care that all the blood spelt. They want to go build a Riviera. It's almost like you were going to build a whole country on a burial ground. And if you think about it in history, that didn't work out the first time. It's indicative of what's going on today. Well, the last time you built a country on a burial ground, what happened? A lot of bad shit happened, huh? A lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And yet you would still do it again and again and again. That's the problem with colonization and independence. It will cost us everything to continue to be independent. So, if you're still listening, thank you for listening, but just try to secure your food, your water, and your housing, man. Because unless everybody shows up for the revolution, we're just going to show up and get our ass whooped. Unity. Or death. That's the only choice.